Have you ever noticed how some arguments in ethical discussions feel less about facts and more about a tug on your heartstrings, leaving you feeling convinced without really knowing why? It is a common experience, and understanding this phenomenon is key to clear ethical reasoning. You identify emotional appeals in ethics by recognizing when an argument relies primarily on triggering feelings like pity, anger, fear, or enthusiasm, rather than on logical evidence, moral principles, or sound reasoning. These appeals, often called fallacies of emotion, aim to manipulate your judgment by sidestepping rational deliberation and directly influencing your emotional state. The core mechanism behind an emotional appeal, known in logic as an appeal to pathos, is its ability to bypass critical thinking. When someone uses an emotional appeal, they are attempting to make you accept a conclusion because of how you feel, rather than because the conclusion is logically supported by relevant premises. This shift from logos or logic to pathos or emotion can be incredibly persuasive, especially on complex or sensitive ethical issues, but it rarely leads to a truly justified moral position. To practically identify these appeals, listen for language that is highly charged, uses vivid imagery to evoke strong feelings, or focuses on the suffering or joy of individuals in a way that overwhelms rational consideration of the broader ethical framework. Ask yourself if the proposed action or belief is being presented as correct simply because it elicits a powerful emotional response from you. For example, if an argument for a policy relies heavily on a single, heart-wrenching story without addressing the policy's wider implications or alternative solutions, it is likely using an emotional appeal. A useful technique is to mentally filter out the emotional language and then reevaluate the argument solely on its logical structure and factual premises. If the argument collapses without its emotional dressing, you have identified a fallacy. Also, be aware of common forms such as the appeal to pity, which tries to elicit compassion to sway judgment, or the appeal to fear, which uses threats or scare tactics instead of evidence to support a conclusion. Recognizing these specific patterns strengthens your analytical toolkit, helping you see past the emotional facade to the underlying reasoning, or lack thereof. Cultivating this ability to discern emotional appeals from reasoned ethical arguments empowers you to engage more critically and effectively with moral questions. It allows you to make decisions based on principle and evidence, rather than being swayed by transient feelings, ensuring your ethical judgments are robust, consistent, and truly justifiable. This makes you a more thoughtful and principled participant in any moral discussion.